It's not every day you get to come to the racetrack and sit in someone's race car.
Welcome to NHRA Drag Racing, where the fastest machines on Earth go head-to-head in a battle of raw, heart-pounding horsepower and split-second decisions.
They're ground-pounding, fire-breathing, just insane things to drive.
Being at one of these races is unlike any other racing event you'll find in America.
They're meant for one purpose, last 1,000 feet under power. Everything in the world trying to go wrong, these things stay together and set world records on a daily basis.
Today, I'm taking y'all with me on a behind-the-scenes tour of what it's like to eat, live, and breathe drag racing, as well as some of the hobbies of some of the best drivers in the NHRA during the 2023 Indianapolis U.S. Nationals.
For us, this is like the big go.
But if you come here and win Indy, it's like winning the championship inside itself.
Everybody wants this trophy.
Now this is not my first time at one of these drag races. I've been coming to these for the last 13 years and I absolutely love them, but getting to do all the behind the scenes stuff is going to be brand new for me today. So a couple of things if you've never been to one of these races. Number one, there's often not a lot of shade, especially in the grandstands. So be sure to bring some sunscreen or put some on beforehand. Bring some head coverings, just a hat, sunglasses, and some kind of long sleeve to keep the sun off of you. I'm wearing a moto jersey right now, and it is probably the best decision I've made in a long, long time, because it is hot today. Oh, also bring some comfy shoes, because you're going to do a lot of walking, especially if you want to come out here and check out the pits. So a lot of times at these races, you can actually walk the pits and see all the race cars. You can watch them warm up. And it's a pretty cool experience. I highly recommend walking over to the pits anytime you come to one of these races. Now I'm gonna get some special privileges today, and we're actually gonna be able to go into some of the pits, and I'll show you guys some behind the scenes things here in a bit.
Our first stop of the day is with NHRA NAPA Auto Parts Funny Car driver Ron Capps. Being a professional racer since 1995 when he first made his career debut, he's a wealth of knowledge on the sport.
I can barely breathe, my nostrils are on fire. So Ron, go ahead and tell me a little bit about this car.
Well, what's unique about this, obviously Top Fuel and Funny Car, we run nitromethane. They make 12,000 horsepower. So
wow, okay.
One cylinder makes more than a complete NASCAR engine. They're ground pounding, fire breathing, just insane things to drive. I get to go drive a lot of stuff away from drag racing, but there is nothing like this when I get back and when you step on the gas at 12,000 horsepower.
Now how fast does this go down the track?
So we'll go 0 to 100 miles per hour in less than 1 second. From a standing stop. We're actually, it's about 50 feet, believe it or not, from a standing stop. We're going over 100 miles an hour.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
0 to 335 miles per hour in 3.8 seconds.
Wow.
Nitromethane it's almost $40 a gallon. Whew. So I know people complain about gas prices. This is $38, I think, a gallon. This is the
cream of the crop.
Yes.
Yeah.
The fuel tank will hold about 18 gallons. We'll burn about 16 on, give or take, on a run. That's just the burnout, back up, stage the car, and make the run. As you can see here, they've got it down to where we tear it apart normally between runs. So we'll come back from a run. It'll be scorching hot, and they have about an hour sometimes in live TV to get it apart, check everything, and get it back together. So you can see now it's got the bare block, no cylinder heads on it, so they're waiting on the crew chief to give them the numbers that he's calculating, and he's running humidity, the air conditions, temperature, all these things he puts into a program, and that tells him what the compression ratio is going to be. Once he knows, he'll tell them, and they'll put the head gasket on, and then you see the cylinder heads over there. They're all lined up for us today. We're very prepared in our camp. So once he gives them that, the head gaskets go on, cylinder heads go on, supercharger, which you'll see in a minute, will be right over here, and everything goes together very quickly. You can see here that the flywheel, once they start getting the engine together, the clutch guy will come in and start putting the discs, the floaters, and then the pressure plate on it. Once he's done with that, the bell housing goes on. The little reverser, I don't shift these cars, believe it or not. All I do is step on the gas and hang on. So everything is set with timers. You can hear cars running. So when when I step on the gas, I just basically try to steer it and keep it from going all over the track. And he presets the timers on how the clutch locks up. So once this is put together with a reverser on it, you can see the drive shaft. Most gearheads at home, and I know you've got a lot of people that love this kind of stuff. Look at the size of this drive shaft. That is, you will never see a drive shaft that large in a race car. And they've got to be strong because there's 12,000 horsepower going through this, from the engine to the clutch, through the drive shaft, and to the rear end, which happens to be located right under my rear end in a funny car. And from there, it goes to these huge Goodyear slicks. And these are very, obviously no tread on them, but very sticky, very tacky after I do the burnout. And it blows my mind that, and you're in a car being thrown back that hard, how they can keep traction with 12,000 horsepower. And this is the reason. These Goodyears, this much rubber, this patch of rubber all the way across, no tread, so it's completely flat. And this is how these tires stick to the track and produce runs over 330 miles per hour.
Now it is pretty crazy to see them take off. If you've ever seen one of the tires slowed down from the starting line, they actually bend because there's so much force behind them. So hopefully I'll get a good shot of that for y'all today. A ground-pounding, fire-breathing, insane machine is an accurate description from Ron Capps. Standing on the starting line next to the car, you can feel the rumble and power of this machine throughout your entire body. So what is it like to actually drive one of these cars? Well, I'm about to get as close to figuring that out as possible without having a license.
Just the perfect size for this.
We don't have a normal brake.
Right.
This is the clutch pedal, right?
Right.
Big old clutch pedal.
Okay.
My brake is this, and so to apply the brake, I push on it.
Okay.
And when I take off the starting line, boom, I let it go. If I'm ever on fire, I have onboard fire extinguishers. I actually pull that close to it, and that sets them all up, and it sprays me and the engine, which
Now, how often do you catch on fire?
I don't even want to talk about it, but because I haven't been. Well, last night I was on fire for a minute, but not me. That was. But
Okay.
it's been a while, so
Okay,
I haven't had
that's
to
good.
do that in a long time,
That's good.
which is good. So this is all we have to steer. They call them butterfly steering wheel. They've been this way since the 70s, and so these funny cars are so evil handling that you're just constantly driving them. I mean, constantly feel like you never go straight. And when I get about 2 football fields from the finish line, I reach down and hit the button, and that sets my parachutes out. But I'm going 330 miles an hour, so by the time I hit that, I've gone a football field and a half, easily. So I got to think ahead a little bit on it. I have a fresh air valve that plugs into my helmet, and I turn that on before the run. And that's because if I'm upside down and unconscious, I have fresh air circulating for over 2 minutes, just in case I'm out and they can't get to me. I have an ignition kill switch. Other than that, I mean, I've got 13 straps. So I got the crotch, the shoulders, the normal stuff you would have. And then on top of that, I have 2 leg ones.
Okay.
Then I have 4 in the front, 2 in the back of my helmet to keep it from going backwards.
Right.
And then also forward when the chutes hit. Because when I hit the chutes, it's like negative 9 Gs.
Wow.
So it goes from positive 5.5 Gs on a run to negative 9 when I hit the chutes.
How do you train for that? Like, how do you just practice?
You just.
I mean, you've been doing this for a while, but you know.
The crazy thing is when off season and we get in for the first time the next year, it reminds you, it's like, holy crap. Like,
Yeah, it's like, okay, I am steering
when you're
a
going
rocket
the season,
ship.
like we'll race Sunday and we'll have, Thursday till Thursday off. The next race we qualify Friday. You feel like you've kind of just been in there, so you're used to it. But if you have a couple weeks off and you get back in the next race, it's like,
okay, this is it.
Yeah.
So it's like, it doesn't matter how long you've been racing. It's like every now and then you get a nice refresher of the power.
yeah.
That's wild.
And I mean, you're sitting in it the way it is. So see the injector, you can't see, right? And you barely see over it. On a run, I can barely see over that injector. But when these tires start to grow on a run, it'll tilt the car a little bit so I can see a little better, but still, I can't see the track surface out in front of me. And then you add another element. You drop the body down and you have these windows you can
have
barely...
all these things around you.
Yeah.
Holy, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, because the body's not on the car right now. Wow. Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah.
Here, let's show y'all what this looks like from this point of view.
And a normal run when you're going straight, you're doing this all the way down in a funny car. Literally, just to keep it from going all over the place. So when people see me going straight, they always a straight run. In the car, I'm like this. So it's crazy.
You mean I don't remember you? I bet you don't even know my name. Oh, lucky guess.
The winningest top field driver of all time, Tony Schumacher, also had quite a bit of info to share about what it's like to drive one of these machines.
These cars, what makes them magical isn't that they go 330 miles an hour. It's that they go 330 miles an hour, and then in a couple of minutes, the car's disassembled, put back together, and they go 330 miles an hour again the same day. Wicked machines. They're meant for one purpose, to last 1,000 feet under power and mass power with mass chaos. Everything in the world trying to go wrong, and these things stay together and set world records on a daily basis. You're gonna put your right foot in.
I even got to climb into the Sarge's car.
Not the most comfortable cars. They're not built for comfort. They are
There's a
built.
tight squeeze in here.
Yep. Does your foot fit in there?
So it's like a little Cinderella slipper
Yeah,
for
you keep it in there, right? But it'll also break your legs. So that's what the pad's for.
Oh, wow.
When
okay.
I crashed the second time, the car broke in half, and it rotates so fast that your foot doesn't come out of the gas because that holds it in.
Wow.
So my knee tries to move over and hit my other knee, so I put a pad in to stop it. And all the carbon fiber and stuff inside to keep your legs from hitting.
From
all
bumping and
hitting.
hitting.
Because when you hit something at 300 miles an hour, it's like a baseball bat.
It just takes it right to you.
And
Yeah, I
everything
can
just
imagine.
gets butt. So I'll put this down, you can take a peek.
That's crazy. Just seeing like the wheels at the end, and I can't imagine what this is like going down a drag strip. I mean, it would be wild.
And the cool part is, it's so silent. Like when the crew starts it, it's up, right? And they'll go, okay, all right, here we go. And they'll give me a wind up, right? They'll go to start it like we'll do in a few minutes, and I'll pull the fuel pumps on.
Okay.
And the car will go from gas to nitro. And you'll hear the difference. It starts on gas, regular 86%, 88%. They whoop, and they go rap bop 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 bop. So close this, and then I'll see this go forward, right? So that locks me in. It pulls these two pins in, locks this canopy down, makes it bulletproof. And then they'll give me a go-ahead. I'll roll through, take my foot off the clutch. I'll use the clutch to slow me down or speed me up as I'm going through the water, and then I'll hit the throttle, and there'll be a throttle stop on the throttle body. It'll stop the throttle, the injector from opening all the way. It'll just open a small amount. That's the burnout. I'll push the clutch in, put the car in reverse right here.
Yep.
You push that forward for reverse. Everything's backwards because when you hit the gas, you don't want it to go backwards and change from forward to reverse.
Right.
Those are the parachutes. If for whatever reason one chute doesn't come out, I'll reach up and I'll help them forward a little bit. I've been in the sand. I've had chute failures. The brakes will stop you if you stay calm, but you're going 2 football fields a second. So staying calm is
It's relative.
kind of a relative term, you know?
Wow.
But and the chutes come out, you go from 330 to 230 in 1 second. Negative G's are about 6.
Yeah.
You get out and they give you a microphone and they wonder why you're huffing and puffing. You know? Pretty unique, you know?
Off the track, Tony is an avid motorcyclist, and we got caught up in convo about bikes for quite a while.
What do you ride at home?
Road glide.
A road glide.
And a Ducati.
How often do you get to go ride whenever you're not racing?
Whenever I want.
Whenever.
Every day. I mean, when I'm off, I'm off. And we'll ride the 3 Twisted Sisters up there. I love Bandera, you know?
Okay.
But I literally moved to Austin thinking Luckenbach. When I grew up listening to Luckenbach, Texas from day one of my life with my mom, I thought, that's be my first ride. And it took me a year to get there, but after I did, I'm there whenever we can get there. I'm trying to remember, Summer, what's the name of that place that has the best cheeseburgers on the side of the road? Alamo Springs Cafe. So we go that way too. You know, so it's an hour out of the way. Is it really out of the way? You're on a bike.
Sometimes you have to ride to food, you know?
You always have to get there eventually because we need to eat.
I've never actually ridden one of these little scooters. They're pretty fun.
I know. Well, the coolest part is they're mini motorcycles. That's why I got them, because I didn't like the old school just gas and go scooters.
So you grew up riding motorcycles, right?
Yes. Motorcycles is like It's where I'm from. It's what I love. I actually started racing pro stock motorcycle.
Yep.
And I went from pro stock motorcycle to, I actually got my alcohol dragster license. And then I went straight to Top Fuel. And I raced bikes for 10 years. And it took me the last 6 or 7 years of my pro stock bike career for somebody to give me a shot to do what I'm doing now.
That's cool.
Never quit, never gave up. And I took a lot of no's. And a lot of people telling me, well, you're not going to be able to do that. Or saying that, oh man, how are you going to make it happen? Oh, you just need to give up, or that takes too much money. To where it literally got to the point where I just kept on going until one door opened. And once that door opened, I jumped through and never looked back.
Yeah. So what do you ride at home?
At home, I still ride some motocross. So I got a CRF 250 Honda.
Okay.
And then I still play with a couple street bikes and stuff like that, but one of my favorite bikes of all time is going to be a Ducati.
Oh, okay.
I love Ducatis.
That has been the brand of choice this weekend. Everyone has said they love their Ducatis.
It's kind of like the Ferrari of motorcycles.
It is. They're great bikes. So for those of you who don't know, Antron Brown, badass racer here, is also an Indy local. This is kind of his home track. So don't you you live here in Indy pretty close, don't you?
Yeah, I literally live like 10 miles here from the racetrack. It takes me about 12 minutes to get home. I always loved Indy, and I decided to move out here when I started becoming a full-time racer because I was flying in and out so much. And how bad can it be living in the race capital of the world?
Now, if someone was to come to Indianapolis or this area and they were looking for a food spot, it's kind of, I'm a foodie. So where would you recommend someone go?
One thing that's known here in Indianapolis, you got to go to St. Elmo's, and not even go for the steaks, but just eat the cocktail shrimp with the cocktail sauce with the horseradish. It'll fire you up and fizzle away to nothing. It just stings you. It's the coolest part. It stings for literally 10 seconds, and it goes right away. Like it goes, and it opens up your nostrils, all your senses, and then you're like, oh my God, and it goes, whoo, and then it's gone. It's the cool. It's like something you never experienced before. Kind of like going to an NHRA Drag Race, getting baptized by nitro, and get it to hit you. It'll hit you, then go away. Nitro for your tongue.
Now, speaking of food, it's officially time to eat lunch, and we're going to be going into the trucks and seeing what the racers eat for lunch around here. And I hear the food's pretty good. This custom-built mobile kitchen, disguised as a semi-truck, is home to track chef Malcolm and his team. This is his 13th year traveling the NHRA circuit as a track chef, which includes 21 races per year. Different teams have different chefs, but during each race weekend, Malcolm and his team feed 300 to 600 people per day, which is a mix of hospitality guests and crews of several NHRA teams. Over the entire weekend, they'll feed nearly 2,000 people. One of his most requested meals is meatloaf, but today we're having smoked salmon, and it's probably the best salmon I've ever had. Oh yeah, they're eating like kings out here. This is so good. I'm gonna have to say room for some track ice cream or something though. After lunch, I hopped in the truck and went through the entire staging process with funny car driver Alexis Dejoria. Her team goes over the car, checking for any last-minute adjustments to ensure that a safe pass of 330 plus miles per hour in under 4 seconds can be made, and then begin the process of getting her strapped into the car with her fire suit. Keep in mind it's in the 90s outside, and these fire suits don't breathe, so every minute in the car before a run can be a bit toasty.
Very excited to introduce you to one of my good friends, Alexis Dejoria, who is a funny car drag racer. And this is actually, this is the top of her car right here. But tell me a little more about this drag racing. I know you've been doing this forever. You've raced in other classes. So just, talk to you two about what you do.
So I drive the Bandero Premium Tequila Toyota GR Supra Nitro Funny Car. It's a mouthful, but that's what I do. We're here at the US Nationals, which is the biggest race of the year. It's like the Indy 500 for Indy cars, but for us, this is like the big O. It's like everybody wants this trophy. We won this race in 2014. It was the 60th anniversary of the U.S. Nationals, which was an incredible win. So we're looking to do that again. This is what I've been doing for the last, gosh, I want to say almost 20 years.
Yeah.
I've been in Nitro Funny Car for about a little over 10 of those years. I started off in the sportsman ranks in the super gas class, and then super comp, and then top alcohol funny car, and then moved to Nitro Funny Car.
She's done all the things.
All the things.
So off the track, Alexis rides, and that is one thing I definitely wanted to tell you all about.
Yes.
So I know that you love riding motorcycles. What do you ride at home?
So I have a 2009 Dyna, which
Okay.
I love, and I have a, it's a 2019 Dyna.
You know, the year swap.
I have a 2009 XR 1200 Sportster, but it's not a regular Sportster. It's pretty,
all built out.
Yeah, it's all built out. I don't know if people know about it, but it's pretty badass. It's got a racing cam in it. I love it. And I also have a 1970s chopper that Dan Bacon, we call him Bacon.
Yep,
that he
Bacon.
built for me. It's a shovel head. It's freaking amazing. I love it so much. And then I have a 1950s BMW. Oh, and then I have a
another one.
I have a Ducati Monster too.
So when you're at home and you actually have time to ride, where do you go riding? You
Oh my
'cause
gosh.
So Alexis is from Austin, so she's also from the Hill Country, which is where I
Yes.
learned to ride. So as y'all know, I'm a little partial to those roads. Do you like to go to Lukenbach? Do you like to go ride Three Sisters? Like, where do you go?
All
Or
of
where's
that.
like a destination eatery that you like to go to?
Definitely the Hill Country.
Yeah.
I love going out to just anywhere where there's water and lots of trees.
She likes swimming holes too.
I
Imagine
like
that.
swim holes a lot. Just really anywhere in those back roads. They're so beautiful, just wide open. Yeah, it's great riding out there. Done a couple good rides up the coast of California, from
a
southern to
beautiful
northern
one.
California, and that one was absolutely incredible. But there's a few on my bucket list that I
What's
definitely in
next? What do you-
Bristol, Tennessee, or in Tennessee, it's the Dragon's Tail.
Yes.
Right.
Tail of the Dragon. You
Yes,
gotta
the
do
Tail
it.
of the Dragon.
Yeah, you gotta.
I really want to ride that someday too, but my schedule's crazy. We race 21 races a year, so trying to fit stuff in. And right now, Texas is hot as hell, and I don't want to be on a motorcycle. I don't even want to be outside in Texas right now. It's 110.
Maybe in November it'll get cool enough to go ride, but
Yeah.
it's been brutally
Yeah,
hot
it
in
has,
Texas.
for sure.
For sure.
So-
Well, we got to get you on the Tail of the Dragon at some point.
Yes,
That'll
yes,
be fun.
and ride to food. I want to go with you and ride to some good.
I think we just need to do a video together.
I'm a
and
big
go ride
foodie. I love food, so
Did you ever get to eat out here in Indianapolis?
a little bit. By the time we end
just
though,
like,
at the
you're
race
done.
day, it's usually like, what can we grab quick to go home, shower, and go to bed.
Makes sense. Well, if you ever get to eat here, there's a cool wing spot called Ale.
I
and
love
they have
wings.
they have the best wings in town, and they're known for their ranch.
Ooh.
So if you're ever here, that's a spot you got to go to. It's called Ale Emporium.
Wings in ranch is my favorite.
There's a couple. Ale
badass.
Emporium. It's the thing to do here if you like
All right.
wings. So
I'm gonna get the deets for that because
Yeah.
I love wings.
perfect.
We are officially done racing for the day. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this little behind the scenes video today. It's not every day that you get to come to the racetrack and sit in everyone's race car, have lunch with them, go ride motorcycles around an oval track, just in general have some fun. I definitely had fun. I've never been to a race like this before where I got to do all of these things. So thank you NHRA for having me out. But until the next one, I'll see you on the road. Later y'all.